Hey, it's Tristan from www.primaledgehealth.com, and the seasons are changing in Ecuador, which makes me really stoked. Um, but it's windy, so when the rainy season ends, the windy season starts. We've been getting intermittent sunshine after a few weeks of almost no sun. And of course, I'm out here with my shaky camera that people always have to comment and complain about. If you're going to complain about the shaky camera, don't do it on my comment section. All right, so the question of the day is refeeds. Refeed. So refeed, in case anybody doesn't know, is a term used in kind of like the dieting and fitness world, the mad world of fitness and dieting. Refeed is a term for an increased caloric intake during an allotted time when you are dieting. All right, now let me hone in that question a little bit. I'm talking about refeeds in the context of a ketogenic diet. Very low carb, high fat, whether the fat's coming from the plate or the belly. It's a diet that's high in fat, sufficient in protein. Now, a lot of people have been led to believe that refeeds of carbohydrates, a period when you intake a high level of carbohydrates, a lot of people have been led to believe that this is necessary to maintain proper hormone balance, namely the satiety hormone leptin, to reset your leptin levels, because when you are dieting, when you are restricting your energy intake, your leptin levels decrease, meaning your hunger increases, your desire for food, your drive to go get food, the drive of your biological meat suit to consume calories and store those calories because you've been stressing it out. And under times of stress, the body wants to store fat. So during those times of restriction, leptin levels drop. Your hunger goes up. Now, the rationale and the logic behind carbohydrate refeeds kind of sounds almost intuitively sound. It almost sounds like, it almost makes sense when you hear people's rationale. They say, well, your thyroid level will decrease when you're dieting, especially when you're restricting those carbohydrates. Your leptin levels will decrease and you need to reset them. So a lot of individuals have been led to believe that doing a weekly refeed on carbohydrates, which usually means like the equivalent of it's like the equivalent of a cocaine binge for a lot of people that just go nuts, just in doing donuts, Krispy Kreme, ice cream. I'm naming stuff that I would do if I was going to be really naughty and if that stuff wouldn't mess with my stomach, because I got kind of a sensitive system from things I've done in the past to my body and whatnot. Although I've found a way to eat and to live that's very healthy and in balance with what's going on in my body. So a lot of people believe that you need to eat carbohydrates and refeed on carbohydrates to continue being healthy and losing body fat. And I'm going to go ahead and try and clear this up in as concise a way as possible by saying you don't need no carb refeeds. You don't need carb refeeds if you're doing keto, especially if you got a significant amount of weight to lose. That's not going to help you at all. Now, refeeding with calories, when you've gotten to very low levels of body fat, when that hunger is high, when your satiety is not very high, then this becomes relevant. Refeeding, not with carbs, but with calories, and it doesn't matter where those calories come from. A lot of people always choose carbs because people are craving those sweets a lot of the times. A lot of times when the body is in times of stress, it's like simulating a harsh winter when you're trying to diet down. Now, I'm talking about people who are trying to get really, really lean, not individuals who are trying to reach a healthy body composition. When you're trying to reach a healthy body composition, you shouldn't be feeling like you're starving all the time. If you're on a well-formulated ketogenic diet, you should not feel like you're dying. You should feel good. You should feel satiated. You should be eating nutrient-dense foods. You should be getting sufficient fatty acids, all those essential fatty acids that you need, DHA, EPA. You should be getting these things. Doing things like CLA, good fats. You should be getting sufficient protein. And you should be getting all the micronutrients you need because you're eating lots of leafy greens. Eating things like organ meats also for those individuals who can't really handle a lot of vegetables. A lot of people don't do that well with high vegetables. Sorry, vegans. A lot of people don't do well with a lot of veggies. So, anyways, refeeding with carbs, not necessary. When you're getting at really low body fat levels, talking about like getting shredded, like almost unhealthily shredded, to an area where your body does not want to be in. Your body's stressed. It feels like it's been in a harsh winter. It's been deprived of food for a long time. People are dieting like 12, 16 weeks, and their body's hungry. It's used to holding more body fat. Nobody's body wants to be at 7% body fat. Nobody's body wants to be straight up peeled and shredded and diced. And it's not healthy. Mentally, emotionally, why do you want to do that anyways? Ooh. What's driving you to do this? What drives us to make the decisions we make? What drives us to feel insecure if we don't look a certain way? Yeah, it goes beyond just, oh, I want to get lean. You got to check yourself so you don't wreck your health. Trademark. That was so corny, sorry. Anyways, when your body's in that stress state and it feels like it's in a long winter, it wants to bounce back. It starts craving sugars. It starts craving carbohydrates, which help the body to store fat. The body is used to storing fat in times of abundance. It is used to burning that fat off in times of deprivation. So, to kind of hack into this little biological schism when people are trying to lose weight, a lot of people, when they get down to lower levels of body fat and they're trying to push beyond that sticking point, trying to get more ripped than their body wants them to, for those people, those like single-digit body fat level, it might be useful to cycle calories, meaning to refeed with calories. Now, if you're on a ketogenic diet, I would not suggest doing carb refeeds, loading up on carbs once a week. Doing a cyclical ketogenic diet would most definitely not recommend that to 95% of people. It will spark cravings. It will, for many people, result in a vicious cycle of like drug addict binging on these carb refeed days, where they're just going nuts. Donuts, cereal, whatever it is, your choice, sugary, bready stuff that's going to help you store more body fat and also psychologically help you justify and stay in that cycle of continuously refeeding when you don't really need them. I mean, people like Charles Poliquin have their athletes, high-level Olympic lifting athletes, on diets of 70% fats. Now, a lot of people like to hate on Poliquin for some reason on the internet. The internet's freaking crazy. Charles Poliquin is a very experienced coach, been doing this for a long time. And he always says, you got to earn your carbs. You don't need, there's no individual that really needs much more than like 150 grams of carbs a day. Yes, of course, there's outliers. There's people who can utilize carbohydrates very well. I don't think carbs are bad, but in the context of a ketogenic diet, them carb refeeds are not helping anybody. So if you are trying to get to lower levels of body fat, perhaps just increasing your caloric intake by like 20%, 30% for not just one meal. Now here's the thing, people do these carb refeeds, and actually if you look at the research, if you're like one of these science nerds, if you're into looking at the research, which I love to back up my stuff with research, I love to look at the available research non-dogmatically. And by non-dogmatically, meaning recognizing the limitations of these studies, recognizing that there can be faulty methods to some of these studies, knowing how to look at these studies and realize which ones are relevant to the situation. Now, the studies on resetting leptin, keeping the thyroid hormone functioning, all show that it takes a lot more than just one meal of increased calories to reset that leptin. It usually takes people about 2 to 3 more days of eating at maintenance level to reset. So if you're going to refeed, if you're trying to get to low levels of body fat, a good strategy might be something like every 2 or 3 weeks, utilizing a 2 to 3 day period where you're eating at approximately your maintenance, or just increasing your caloric intake by like 20-30%. I don't know what that's going to look like that for everybody on a ketogenic diet, but that's a good way to start. You don't need carb refeeds. It's not going to help. Now, the thyroid thing is one of the most annoying, pernicious pieces of kind of disinformation that floats around there on the internet. There is absolutely no scientific research at all that you need carbohydrates for thyroid function. Carbohydrates are not necessary for thyroid function. Thyroid slows down not because you restrict carbohydrates, but because you restrict calories. Thyroid hormone output decreases. It's like you're idle. You got a car and it's low on gas. aka body fat, or fuel. You're getting really lean, you're lowering those calories a lot. Your body doesn't want to waste a bunch of energy. It doesn't want to run around, zoom, 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 high thyroid output. It doesn't want to be running around like that. It wants to be chilled out, relaxed, be able to put out those quick bursts of energy. You need to hunt, capture something, fight for your life. But it wants you to remain calm. Your body needs to remain calm in these states of deprivation, and it needs to conserve energy. So the thyroid output naturally goes down in times of scarcity. Your energy output in your times of scarcity should be regulated. So it's kind of like a governor on your car. Keeping it mellow because that gas is low. Keeping that idle low. Just mix up like 5 metaphors there. Sorry about that. But anyways, thyroid, there's no evidence that carbohydrates are required for thyroid function. However, you do need iodine for proper thyroid function. You do need sufficient protein and calories for your thyroid, for your leptin levels to be sufficient. So, if you're eating a well-formulated ketogenic diet, you're probably getting plenty of iodine. If you're eating seafood and fish, getting sufficient iodine. A lot of people use kelp, stuff like that. Dulse, nori, these seaweeds, which actually can be really delicious. You can season your food with it if you don't like seafood. If you don't like seafood, I would recommend at least finding one type of fish that you like so you can boost your DHA levels, because just taking a fish oil pill doesn't really cut it. It's better to get it dietarily. There's some high quality like fermented cod liver oils and stuff like that, and some good quality fish oils out there. I'm not saying they're all useless, but getting it from a whole food source is always going to be better. So anyways, there's my big rant about refeeds. You don't need no stinking carb refeed. It's not going to help you get lean. Now, again, if you're trying to push your body to unnaturally low levels of body fat, or just in uncharted territory, if your body's used to holding on to more body fat, you're trying to take it down lower in body fat, then refeeding on calories can be useful for keeping your satiety up, for resetting leptin, but it takes more than one meal. So maybe every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, doing like a 3-day period where you're resetting, eating at maintenance or slightly above, and then going back to dieting could be a good way to do it. Now, that's it, guys. Was going to do another update with Jessica today, but she's down in the garden right now. Maybe we'll do a garden update video tomorrow. But we've got an awesome response on our new maca 1 kilo bags, and a lot of people are really liking the free ebook that we've got. I'll link that down below. Check out the website for the free ebook, Maca, the Andean Adaptogen. We're really stoked we're able to share with you guys 1 kilo bags at like an insanely low price. It's like half the price of other not even comparable materials that are out there. So remember, we're here in the Andes. We know the stuff that's leaving. We got people on the ground in Peru. This is what we've been doing for years. Exporting high quality, the highest quality, heirloom heritage organic foods from here in Ecuador and Peru. A lot of it comes out of Peru because Peru's a little bit easier country to work in as far as exports go. They got their stuff together. So, maca in 1 pound bags, awesome stuff. Check out the free ebook, all about maca, how to use it. One of the best adaptogens that I know of. One of the reasons that we were so attracted to the Andes and to South America was this food. These Peruvians have been living in the highlands of the Junin Plateau and all throughout the Andes would probably not be here today if it weren't for a couple of plants. One of those plants is the maca root. Another one is the coca leaf that they use very, very extensively, very important culturally to them. But maca was almost up there in popularity and cultural relevance with the coca leaf. So we've got maca on the website, www.primaledgehealth.com. If you guys want coaching, you can hit us up in the coaching section. All our clients this month have been doing awesome. Really cool. Nate, who I just got done talking to, I'm excited to see how it balances out in the next few months in the uncharted territory. So, yeah, check it out. Free maca ebook. We got the maca on the website. It's $31.99 for a whole kilo. It's like 3-4 months supply, depending on how much you use. So, yeah, www.primaledgehealth.com. I'll see you next time. Checking out the sunset, getting the last rays of sun here in the Andes of Ecuador. See you guys.